Plus, charter flights poised to depart Afghanistan after the new Taliban government agrees to let foreigners leave. Afghanistan is expected to top the agenda as regional powers hold talks this very hour. An action plan on counter-terrorism is a key priority for the BRICS nations, but competing interests and alliances could hinder consensus. For a closer look on this, Rajiv Bhatia from Gateway House joins us live. Now, Mr. Bhatia, clearly there are fears of increased, terror activities in the region, and is that why security is the group's biggest concern?
It was so even before the upheaval in Afghanistan. But the upheaval and transition that Afghanistan, our neighbor, is going through has further added salience to that worry. And therefore, yes, you are absolutely right in pointing out that the BRICS summit meets under the shadows of the change in Afghanistan today.
Mr. Bhatia, how then might competing interests hamper cooperation on Afghanistan at this point?
This directly refers to the convergences and divergences involving three of the Asian members of BRICS, namely Russia, India, and China. Now, terrorism and countering terrorism is a global problem. There is no doubt on that. And that is the reason why BRICS has decided to put a very special focus on it under India's chairmanship. But the three countries in Asia, they are directly concerned here. They essentially agree that there should be a very clear accountability of the new government of Afghanistan in terms of its responsibility for stemming new and old terrorist activities. And yet there are different divergences involving the three of them. And therefore, it would be very interesting to watch as to how the BRICS summit, which has just started, will address this problem and what kind of conclusions it would reach. We know, as you pointed out, they are coming up, giving final shape to a new common counter-terrorism action plan. So what precisely would go into this? We have some idea, but the final shape would be available as soon as the summit is over and the joint communiqué is issued.
And not to mention, there are rising tensions between India and China, like, recent deadly border clashes. Do you think that could also complicate talks?
That is the continuing worry, particularly here in Delhi. There is no doubt that, this BRICS summit, which is the second summit taking place after the armed clash between Indian and Chinese troops in eastern Ladakh, takes place under quite serious and solemn circumstances. But we must take note of two basic facts. One is that both India and China decided quite some time back that despite their bilateral issues, the BRICS summit and the cooperation within its framework would continue and they will continue to help it advance forward. Yet at the same time, and this is the second point, within India, there is, a change in public opinion, in the opinion of the strategic community, in the perceptions of the media, and everybody is very clearly aware that BRICS summit is taking place bearing the burden of, quite poor and complex relations existing today between India and China.
Mr. Bhatia, thank you very much for your thoughts as we await the outcome of this BRICS summit. That was Mr. Rajiv Bhatia there from Gateway House.